Ay, 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 ay.
Hey everybody, it's your boy the Memphis Accelerate coming at you live with another episode of Anime Review where I talk about an anime that I like. And I just want to briefly go up about it with as few spoilers as possible because spoilers are the enemy. Let's go ahead and read into all that now. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, one of the best anime ever, one of the longest running manga ever. It's pretty dang awesome and I very much enjoy it very much. So what's this series about? This is the series about a family, the Joestar family, and their fight against all forms of evil in the world that they come across. And they do it rather well. Over the generations, over 130 years of JoJo's fight against evil. And so this is a series all about action and story and character. There's so much of it. I could spend literal hours here talking about everything, but I got just a short time for you guys. I'm going to be talking about the basics of JoJo, and it's going to be as JoJo as possible. So I'm going to go over each and every season of JoJo, give you the basic highlights and my opinion of it. Let's go ahead and start with the first season. First season of JoJo is called Phantom Blood. It stars Mr. Jonathan Joestar, the most gentlemanly British giant muscle-bound man you'll ever meet. Seriously, the guy is swole AF. Seriously, like, what did he do in his life to get so swole? I'll tell you what, he was a gentleman, and that was good enough. Okay, that was all he needed to be in order to be so swole. And Jonathan, he will be the first torchbearer in the Joestar family's fight against evil as he comes across the most evil anime man ever, Dio Brando, the meme lord. Because like 50% of all JoJo memes are all about Dio, so he is the meme lord. That is how that works. So yes, Jonathan must fight against Dio, who is an evil villain. You know, you got Jonathan, he's the ultimate gentleman. Dio, the ultimate dick. They are a clash of ideas, and they must fight each other. It's very action-packed. Sadly, the first season's only like 9 episodes, but in our 9 episodes, a lot is crammed in, including our first power method in JoJo's, which is called Hamon. So if you don't understand Hamon, how it works, basically all you do is you reach up to the sky, you're like, Hamon! And then your body gets covered in ham, and then you punch the shit out of vampires. It's pretty cool. Other than, basic head, Jonathan, he's the most important kid. You also introduced Speedwagon, who I'll briefly mention as the ultimate anime wife, who is like, he's there. He doesn't seem to do much, but he's Speedwagon. You can't hate. Look at the smile on this guy. He's so adorable. Like, it's cool. He's awesome. I wish he did more. He does show up later in season 2, and that's awesome too. It makes season 2 even better just for him being there because he's Speedwagon. But, yeah, as for season 1, it may be the shortest season, only 9 episodes, but it's still a must-see to understand the rest of the season, the rest of the series, the rest of the everything, the rest of JoJo is dependent on season 1. That's just how it is. Season 2 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is called Battle Tendency. They kind of lump season 1 together with 2, but really they're separate. So season 2, Battle Tendency, begins. So this takes place about 50 years after the first season of JoJo's. Yeah, season 2 begins with Mr. Joseph Joestar, who is main character man, of course. He's the grandson of Jonathan Joestar. Very different from his grandfather. I mean, Jonathan is the ultimate gentleman. Joseph's kind of a punk. It's kind of a weird thing they got going on, so I'm wondering where genetics went in there. So, despite his punkishness, Joseph must answer the call of the family to fight evil wherever he may find it. And in season 2, we got the ultimate evil trio in anime, the Pillarmen, who are basically they're like superhuman beings from like 10,000 years before the present day. It's pretty crazy. They're like superpowered. Not vampires, but they kind of act like vampires in a way. They're like the origin of the myth. So they're cool. You got 3, there's 4 of them, but 3 of them, the only ones that matter. You got Wamu, who's the honorable warrior. ACDC, who can do some crazy stuff and is bipolar, whatever there. And then you got Cars, who is a Pixar film. And, Joseph, he has to fight them again with Homo power. And he has some choice allies in doing this fight. He's got Caesar, who is a grandson of another character from season 1 I forgot to mention. You've got Lisa, the hot mentor. Speedwagon is, of course, back, lending his unquestionably necessary support. And then you have von Stroheim, aka definitely not a Nazi. Okay, some people think he's a Nazi. He's not a Nazi. Okay, if he was a Nazi, they would have said so. But he's not a Nazi. Therefore, he's not a Nazi. There you go. So yes, season 2 has a lot of awesome action in it, and also you have to understand that a prevalent thing in the first couple seasons that will, of course, be mentioned later on in the series. Where'd my glove go? Is that the fights aren't just about beating each other up. Okay, there's a lot of nuanced actions. You gotta really outthink your opponent in the first couple of seasons of JoJo because the Pillarmen are much stronger than Joseph. As well, Dio was a lot stronger than Jonathan. So there's a lot of action involved where just the characters are outthinking their opponents, being like, okay, my opponent has this power, and the environment looks like this, and my opponent's actions are like this, his personality is like this. This is how I'm going to defeat my opponent. So that is how a lot of the action is, and I really enjoy it. Joseph is a very interesting character in that he is always outthinking his opponent. He acts like a total goofball, or he's just not taking, he's not taking things seriously, but he does, and he is a very awesome character in that he always comes out on top despite everything that might come to the contrary, that he might not be coming out on top. So, season 2, another really good season of the anime, and again, highly recommend. Season 3 of JoJo is called Stardust Crusaders. This is by far the best season in my humble opinion. That's just my opinion on the subject. And that it combines perfectly the aspects of action, comedy, outsmarting, outthinking people, all in one glorious thing. It's beautiful, and I'm just going to go over it briefly. So, season 3 starts with Mr. Jotaro Kujo, who is the great-grandson, or great-great-grandson, of Jonathan Joestar. He's Joseph's grandson, so that's great-great-grandson of Jonathan. Okay, yes. He is even more of a punk than his grandfather was, so again, where the heck did genetics go? And so he, again, must answer the call against evil. So a thing to briefly mention is that Hamon is gone as of season 3. Well, mostly. I mean, Joseph uses it a little bit, but for the most part, it's like gone. So that's sad. Instead, we have what's called stand-up power. And stand-up power is basically, it's basically your fighting spirit, like personified. It kind of works like psychic powers or something. The characters make a big deal out of it whenever the stand shows up. I mean, heck, I'll go stand right now, and I won't make a big deal about it. So, Jotaro, he has to fight an ancient enemy. That's right, Dio has returned, is of season 3. And so he, his grandfather, and a bunch of misfits have to travel all the way to Egypt in order to beat the shite out of Dio. And so they got the motley crew together. You got Jotaro, who's, his power is basically just punching things really fast. You got Joseph, who doesn't do much. His stand is basically divination. Fun fact, whenever an old character in JoJo shows up from the previous season, they're not going to do jack shit at all. Like, they don't do anything. Like, their power's reduced, like, they go from here to here in terms of power. They go nowhere. Okay, so that's a thing you got to be aware of. What else? So yeah, Joseph, he doesn't do much, but he's there. You got Kakyoin, aka MILF Hunter 69, who is of course the best character. You have Abdal, who controls fire, whatever. You got Jean-Pierre Polnareff, aka the comedy relief, and then you have Iggy, the only dog in the series of JoJo who didn't die immediately upon entering the screen. Yes, that is a thing in JoJo's if you didn't know. If you like dogs, take care when watching JoJo's. So yes, a major part of this series a major part of season 3 is that every episode they encounter, the group they encounter a new stand user with crazy powers. This is where the bizarre part of JoJo's really takes a hit, a home run, and they're always fighting these dudes, and they're always on their guard about it, but they never really catch them. They never really catch it early on or anything. They kind of do with the comedy relief villains, but that's kind of obvious because they're comedy relief villains. So every episode, they fight a stand user. There's lots of big brain talk, and there's a lot of fighting. And it's pretty dang action-packed goodness with just that little sprinkle of funny. Usually pulling the ref dealing, because again, he is the comedy relief character. He gets into a lot of fights against stand users pulling ref, and he does win a fair number of fights. But he's just so dumb. But he's a funny character still. So, pulling ref really does cement things up. He's kind of like Season 3's version of Speedwagon, even though that's blasphemy saying that because Speedwagon is like 1,000 times more powerful than pulling the ref is. So, yeah, that's all that is. Season 3, definitely worth a watch. It's 48 episodes long. I didn't even mention that. It's 4 regular anime seasons worth of anime crammed into one beautiful package. So, Season 3 is definitely my favorite. Season 4 of JoJo is very odd, not in the good way. Okay, it's basically... The art style of Season 3 was very gritty, very realistic, but colorful at the same time, because it's an anime. Season 4, everything is like hyper-realistic or hyper-realized color scheme, and it's very cartoony. I think I got those words mixed up, but regardless, it's a very drastic change in the art style. As well as the character designs and everything, it's very strange. So, yeah, Season 4, a little off-putting. But yeah, you got a character. His name is Josuke Higurashitake Mushroom or something along the lines. I can never remember his name. It's just like I don't remember your name. I do it. I'm sorry. You don't do that much compared to your ancestors. But yes, you got yourself a new character, which means a new baddie, new evil in the world. He's allied with a whole bunch of dudes to take down evil serial killer with crazy hand fetish. This is actually a thing. It's long-time evildoer remover versus hand fetishist with bomb powers. Yes, that is actually the plot of Season 4. And that's not a bad thing. Season 4, well, it is much different than Season 3 and Season 5 and Season 1 and 2. It's still good. I mean, there's some off-put episodes that are actual filler, and then there's actual episodes that nothing happens. But I found it all right. My buddy Shimario, actually, it's the only season he's ever watched, and he thought it was okay. He needs to go back and see seasons 1 through 3. But yeah, Season 4, it's all right. That's all I really got to say about it. Is it's all right. Not the best, not the worst. It's just is. Season 5 of JoJo's is drastically different from the rest of the series. We're once again back to the more, gritty sort of artwork. Although it is a little more colorful. It's kind of like a blend between Seasons 3 and 4, in terms of art. But now we've got ourselves a new character once again. And to be honest, he's a bit weirdo. Okay, so let me put it to you straight. Our new character's name is Giorno Giovanna. He is a gang star, as he calls himself. Basically, okay, he's Italian. Well, he immigrated to Italy, and he wants to become a member of the Italian mafia for various reasons. He's also Dio's son. Well, actually, he's one of like 4 of Dio's sons. Dio had a lot of kids. The guy got around quite a bit. So yes, Giorno, he wants to become gang star for various reasons. So he joins up with his buddy Bucciarati, who is already a mafioso, and his band of mafiosos in order to rise to the top. And it's actually pretty good. There's a lot of good action scenes in this season. Each of the main characters has their own backstory. They have their own episodes. They have like plenty of fights between them. Like Giorno helps out in a lot of fights. His stand is powerful. It's very powerful. It's more of a support stand in the end of the day. And so he spends a lot of episodes supporting his buddies, So that's the thing with Giorno there. Yeah, he's always helping out his buddies. What were their names? Those Mista the gunman, Narancho, the guy with the airplane stand, which is actually kind of cool. Fugo, who had one fight ever, and that was it. Policeman, whose name I can't remember, whose stand is not offensive in any way that I can figure. And of course, Bucciarati, aka Zipperman. So, very cool characters. The only thing about the character designs in this final season, or not final season, but the fifth season, is that they're very slimmed down, and that does lead to season 5 Jotaro, who I don't want to look at anymore. No, but yes, season 5 is actually pretty dang good. I watched the whole thing. Final Villain has the most confusing power of a lot of villains. I won't go into it too much. There's plenty of videos online where you can, discuss what King Crimson does. I think it's not that complicated. Maybe I'll make a video of that myself. But yeah, in the end of the day, season 5 is also worth a watch. And that's where we are in the anime JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. We still got a little while to wait until Stone Ocean Season 6, which will, again, I figure be very good. I do hope it will be out within a year or two at the latest, because anyway, any longer and we don't have enough JoJo. We don't have enough JoJo to go around. That's just how it is. So I hope very much that this video has inspired you to go try JoJo a little bit. I know I've skimmed over a lot, but like I said, I want to avoid too many spoilers. That, and if I talk about every plot point in JoJo, it would take all day because it's just there's so much to unpack. So I hope very much you enjoyed. Next time we're going to be talking shit about Sword Art Online, the best worst anime of all time. And your boy Memphis is going to be signing out. Take care, guys.